What if almost everything you were told was a lie? Would you like to know? Welcome to another episode of Broke is No Joke Radio, where the truth will indeed set you free. And now, here's your host, a man with a face made for radio, freedom fighter and unbroker, Josh Zeppis.
Good morning, champions. Josh Zeppis here, Broke is No Joke Enterprises, Broke is No Joke Radio. Good morning to you all. And remember, of course, I say good morning, but that's actually just a state of mind, not a time of day, even though right now it is morning in beautiful sunny Orlando. So we welcome you guys. We got some really awesome stuff for you today. I actually have a guest here today who's he's actually in the studio, and we're just going to have him kind of chime in. Then we'll do a little bit of an interview at the end. His name is Wolf Castillo. And Wolf, at the age of 22, he graduated college from the University of Central Florida, my own alma mater, with a degree in education and psychology with magna cum laude honors and a 3.98 GPA, all the while maintaining 4 jobs. How the heck did you do it? We'll get to that. He graduated with no student loan debt and paid for his first car full in cash. At 23, he has now started his own business as a youth life skills and mindset coach, and he is on the mission to empower the young people of this generation, thank you, and generations to come to live a life of freedom, a life of choice, and a life where they truly feel alive. So you just said my favorite F word there, freedom, man. How you doing today?
Oh man, it's another amazing day to be alive. I mean that truthfully. It's another great day to be alive.
Just curious, well, what gets you up in the morning?
Cold showers.
Cold showers, yeah, that works. Hey, that works. So I want to talk more about what you're doing. But I want to let you guys know there's actually a new article out there on our website I want you guys to take a look at. And, we're doing this little kick on self-help books, which Wolf and I were just talking about how important they are. But I get a lot of folks asking me, like, which self-help book should I read? Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I don't know. What the heck do you want to learn?
Yeah.
What do you want to focus on? But I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write an article. I'm going to come up with the 5 most important self-help books you should read. Not the only ones you should read, but the ones maybe to start with if you have no idea where else to go.
Sure.
So I'm going to read this off to you guys real quick so you have an idea what we're talking about here. One of my favorite books of all time, and one of my favorite things to talk about, is mental toughness. Mm-hmm. I think we're in a society, maybe you agree or not, we're in a society where most people have the mental toughness of like a wet Kleenex. We just, someone says some naughty word or someone says something we don't like and we fall apart.
Yeah.
And we fail. So this book, it's called The 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. It's by Steve Siebold. Mm-hmm. Highly, highly recommend it. And he has it broken up into these little tidbits, 177 of them. So you can read like 1 a night or 2 a night. And in 3 months, you read 2 a night. In 3 months, you're ready to go. Mm. So I love it. And that's a fantastic book. Second one is a personal favorite. And this is one where people they feel it's a little weird, because it's about affirmations and it's about what we say to ourselves.
Sure.
And this is by Shad Helmstetter. It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Mm-hmm. Have you read that one by chance?
Honestly, I can't say that I have, but the concept is, it makes sense to me. I think that in every interaction that we have, if I'm talking to you or I'm talking to myself, it's always a mirror.
Yeah.
Meaning, even when I'm talking to you, I'm actually also talking to myself.
That's right.
So if I ever want to go out and say something rather perverse or inappropriate or mean or rude about you, in some way, whenever you point a finger at somebody, there's 3 pointing back at you.
That's right.
So it makes sense to me. And that self-talk is also a big aspect of that.
That's huge. That's huge. I always say never, stop listening to yourself and start talking to yourself. Because your mind is separate from you. People think, well, I just have to, obey my mind. No, you tell your mind what to think. Mm-hmm. Because your mind is full of all the old crap, all the old beliefs, all the old conditioning, all that stuff we were told. And sometimes that doesn't serve us. So I love that book. Highly recommend it. It was written in the 80s, so it's a really old book. Okay, but I shouldn't say really old.
The Regal effect.
I shouldn't say really old. I was born before the 80s, so it's not that old. All right. Third book that I love, and everyone loves Napoleon Hill. But when I say Napoleon Hill, what's the first book that comes to mind?
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich, yeah, which is a great book.
Yeah.
But he has one that's even better that actually got buried. He wrote it in the 30s. It didn't come out until I think 2013.
Yeah.
Because his family was too controversial. And the moment you tell me something's too controversial, I'm interested.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh man, I want the truth. I want the real stuff. So this is called Outwitting the Devil. And basically, Napoleon Hill has an interview with the devil and compels the devil to let us know how he keeps us down, how he makes us lose in life. Just what a fantastic concept.
Yeah.
So really well done. I was telling Wolf before, I actually like the audiobook better than the written book. But either way, you got to hear it or read it.
Yeah, and we found it. So if you ever go on YouTube, you're like, I want the audio. You can find it for free on YouTube.
Oh, there you go. Even better.
Outwitting the Devil.
Yep. And then the next one is one of my favorites because it was the first personal development book I ever read. And it was one that changed my life. I was 29 years old. I'll never forget.
Wow.
And this is from Stephen Covey. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And it just blew me away. There's a couple of basic concepts in there that this is a great starter book.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never done a self-help book and you just want to kind of get your feet wet, this is one of the best, most simple books you can possibly buy.
Yeah.
And impactful. And the last one that I really, really, really like I'll tell you why,
It's a good one.
Oh yeah, you've read this one, right?
Yeah, it's
Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. What was your favorite part about Compound Effect? What do you like?
I'd actually have to go back and like refresh myself in the actual book itself. But there was this one concept I'll never forget. It was when I was in California. When I read it, I was in a pretty difficult space in life. And what it got me to realize was that ultimately, as simple as it sounds, but I think oftentimes it gets overlooked, that we are a product of our actions and our intentions and our beliefs. And it is this gradual residual effect that we are experiencing in our present reality based off of some former choice. And the second that we own that, and this was tied into, once we own that and stop blaming others and actually take responsibility for everything, because this was the concept that got me. This is it right here. This is the nugget.
This is a good one.
He said, what percentage of a relationship, let's just say you and I are in a relationship, what percentage of a relationship?
I'm married, dude, just so you know.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh.
No one's got to know that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Everyone out there, put on your earmuffs. Earmuffs. You didn't hear that.
Kids,
okay.
Close your ears.
Kids. Put your kids to bed.
Exactly. What percentage of a relationship are you responsible for inside of a relationship?
About 8%, I'd say.
About 8. Okay.
Yeah. Am I close?
Close. Yeah. No, but see, the average person now, some people go to, oh, well, 50-50. Like that was actually what I said in that moment. In that moment, I was like, well, 50-50, right? Like you divvy up the complete and total amount of it to each person. And of course, he proceeds to say, and most people would say 50-50. I'm like, oh, here comes the punchline.
Uh-huh.
The punchline was, he says that each person is responsible for 100%.
That's right.
And once we step into 100%, what happens is this. There is no blame. There is no this, there is no that. No matter what happens, if I'm triggered, if I have some kind of experience that makes me feel less than or not worthy or whatever, it's over here in my playing field. And I am responsible for everything that I experience. I'm responsible for the actions that I take, the things that I say. And if we step into 100%, there's never a gray area.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, there you have it, guys. I mean, that's the best description I can think of. So Compound Effect. And I'm going to give you guys a bonus one. I threw this one into the article because I always like to over-deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a small one. It's about a 30-page book. You can almost call it a pamphlet. You saw it. It was
a little info pamphlet.
Little pamphlet. And it's called Skill with People by Les Giblin. Les Giblin. Funny name, but great book.
It's a great book name.
And here's why this book is important. You're in a relationship business. I don't care if you're an employee, if you have your own business, if you're in plumbing, or if you're in healthcare, or if you're a car mechanic, you're in a relationship business. Because people do business with who they like and who they trust. If they don't like you, no business. If they don't trust you, no business. Here's the thing though, they'll never get to trust you because that takes time if they don't first like you. So like comes first, right? And if they like you, you'll have an opportunity to earn their trust. So this book is just, and by the way, a lot of people like Dale Carnegie. That's a good book too, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Fantastic book. This one is just the condensed version. Get through it, get some of the good nuggets, and you're out. So I really, really do like it. So there you have it. It's an article coming out. Make sure you check out on our website, brokeisnojoke.org, and leave us a comment. I wonder what you think about the article. I want you to think about the book selections. If you read it and had some success or had some failure with these books, I want to know. So Josh at brokeisnojoke.org. Feel free to shoot me a message. Maybe we'll talk about you on air. Why not? Hey. All right, let's get to Mr. Wolf here. So I hear a lot about follow the wolf. right? So what is this follow the wolf thing about?
Well, and this is actually probably still a little fresh for you because last time we spoke,
Yeah, it is.
my name was not Wolf.
It wasn't.
It was Jared.
It was Jared.
Yeah.
Jared Castillo.
Jared Castillo. And it's
Yeah.
transitioning into Wolf Castillo. So
Is this like a Prince thing where you're just kind of like a symbol or an enigma? You're getting away from making
it becomes very abstract.
a factory name.
There you go.
Like a John, Jared, Jacob, Jingleheimer.
Just Wolf. There's no middle, last.
Just Wolf.
Yeah. And
I
anytime I walk in a room, all you hear is howling. Like always here.
Wow.
What's up?
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
just don't go Twilight on me, please. I'm just kidding.
I'll try my hardest.
That's werewolf. Sorry, it's different.
It's a little different, slightly. I mean, it's all like the same derivative, right? Wolves.
Okay.
It's all wolf. And then it's like then there's dogs, but that's way too far down the.
No, that's yeah.
It's way too down the line.
Might be the same family, but not the same species.
No,
I don't know.
No, real watered down version.
Is it?
Yeah. Anyways, so follow the wolf. So do you want the full how we got to this movement? Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah. Give us some flavor at least.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So follow the wolf is essentially what has come as a product of a journey. And what that means is this. When 2016, 2017, life came and hit me pretty hard. You heard like the whole, 3.9 GPA, graduated this, did the 4 job, did all that.
Show off.
Yeah, no, what a freaking show off. And every time I hear that, I'm just like, okay, yeah, there's that. But what people don't know about what was going on behind the scenes, right? Because it's almost like the layer of the onion, the outside foremost layer is got the 3.98.
Right.
Got the car, was working for a job, schooling and everything full-time up to 60 to 70 hours a week. And what people didn't know was that I was struggling heavily with depression and anxiety, crippling, and that came as a product of many things. And the long story short is my world got turned upside down, kind of like a blink of an eye. I was with a friend, and 5 minutes later he drove up the road and he died in a pretty tragic car wreck. Within a couple of weeks on that same road, I got into a head-on collision with somebody.
Stay off that road, dude. Holy crap.
Road, it's cursed.
That's like Dead Man's Curve.
Yeah, no, there's actually been a lot of accidents there. It's not too far from here, but they've since done work because they realize it's dangerous as hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if it's close to here. I don't want to know which road it is.
It is close. I won't tell you though. But so that happened. I was in a relationship with somebody who was severely depressed, extremely amazing person, just was really struggling. And then around that time as well, I, as a product of being so kind of beaten into the ground, because again, I was working those 4 jobs, I was supporting this relationship. My family's on both sides. I've been in the divorced family since I was a kid. They were going at it, and all the time, I was the person in the middle who was supporting everybody. I was the rock. So it got to a point where I had gotten so just beaten up between the friend passing and getting in the car wreck and really, really hating the work that I was doing, feeling like I was walking in. It was like the equivalent of having a bedroom, and I would clean my room, and then somebody would walk into the room, they would make a mess, and then I'd walk back in the room, it was dirty, and I would clean it again. It was very monotonous work, and it was really eating away at me, on top of the fact that I was working all these jobs and schooling as much as I was. So what happened was, as I got to a point where I said, I can't do this anymore, and I cut everything and everyone off. The only thing that remained was school, and I continued to do school, and I basically went for almost a year and a half without having a regular job. I had saved enough money from working the 4 jobs where I didn't have to do that. But I'll never forget was I got into a point where my money was at its end. I was the lowest I'd ever been, and I knew that I had to get a job. And I was completely dreading it to the nth degree, dreading it to the point where I was like, I know what, I need to change of scenery. Something has to change. So I did some research and started looking up summer camps. I was like, okay, I can get out of the state. I can move, try something different. Long story short, I had found a couple in New Jersey, but then I had this epiphany of I've always wanted to go to California. So I researched, found this website, and within 3 days, I applied to 20 locations. I got interviewed by 6 of them. I did a background check, got interviewed twice, booked a flight, canceled a flight, enrolled my best friend, and drove to California within 3 days of this initial thought and idea, and then got to California in 36 hours. Once inside of California, I started to feel good. I was contributing. The camp that I was working, I was actually a facility for kids and adults with special needs and mental and physical disabilities and things like that. So it was actually really difficult work, but it was also very rewarding. it was that push into the uncomfortable that I had really never experienced, because I'm in a new location, I'm with people,
Right.
complete and total change of scenery. And I started to feel better. And then
It sounds like you broke a lot of habits too.
I had to.
We get into these bad habits when we're in our same element day after day. And when you get to a new element, you have to break those habits because you're not in the same place.
No.
That's one of the keys to just sometimes changing environment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shake it up.
Yeah.
Shake it like a salt shaker. Yeah. And that was exactly what happened. Everything kind of got turned upside down. New routines, new habits had to be developed. And right when I started like having this like, oh, I'm feeling better in this 2-week span, again, life, when it rains, it pours, and you hope you have a poncho nearby. But I didn't have a poncho. So what it ended up looking like was my partner and I split, and it was a really heavy breakup because she basically said, oh, I'm at peace now. And also I'm already talking to somebody else type situation. And then my grandfather died. And then I had gotten the call that one of my oldest childhood friends had taken his own life, and that his mom had found him, having been in that situation. And in addition to that, I had also found out that my childhood favorite band, my family's favorite band, was Linkin Park, and Chester Bennington had also just passed away, which had a heavy effect on us. And then if you thought that wasn't enough, I had basically gotten a call that my dog had died. And that came at the end of all of it. And the odd thing was, and this is when I knew something was wrong, was through that entire experience of my grandfather passing, my friend having found out he had passed away and everything like that, I didn't cry. I didn't get angry. I didn't even hardly get sad. And that was when I knew something was wrong, because when I got the text from my ex-girlfriend saying, I'm so sorry about Hulk, I was like, what are you talking about? So I called my stepmom. I'm in California. She's in Florida, obviously. And she's all like, hey, how's it going? And I was just like, what happened to Hulk? And yeah. And the first words that came out of her mouth were, you weren't supposed to find out. Now, they had known the circumstances that I had been dealing with in California. And basically their mindset was, oh, let's just keep it from him. He's already going through so much. But in that moment, I just felt this entire flush of like everything inside of my body just like leaving me. And like my face went completely blank, and like all the color left my face. And I just remember sitting there as she starts crying and sobbing and explaining. Mind you, this dog was like my everything, because it was only like 2 years old. There was no reason why it should have passed away. Yeah. But it had a failure in its kidneys. And for me, like that had been like the final straw, and that basically transitioned into 15 minutes of me crying like I'd never cried in my entire life, which was actually in itself a massive breakthrough. Yeah. Because I couldn't cry. I couldn't be angry. I couldn't be sad. And I couldn't even really be happy. It was like a full-blown emotional numbness.
You were just disconnected.
Completely. Yeah. The way that I describe it is I was dead. Now I look back, I'm like, I was dead. I was walking around in a body, but I was dead.
So you were basically a typical American. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding, guys.
Not really, but yes.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, I was in the zombie thing for 20 years in corporate America. So I look back on that. I was like, yeah, I wasn't living. I was dead.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead.
No, but so you get it then.
Yeah.
It's I am alive, but I'm not actually alive.
You're alive, but you're not living.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And it's like, every single day it's hard to get up. Every single day it's hard to come up with a reason to do anything, quite frankly, at that point. And I realized that. And it hit me that I wasn't living the life that I had chosen and I had created. And that actually became the process of how the wolf came into existence. So what that looked like was this. I remembered ever since I was a young boy. So basically I had gotten back from California. I'd gotten back home, and I started to settle back into my old patterns and behaviors.
Interesting.
I had gotten a little bit of money, but I had started to settle back into the old behaviors. And it wasn't serving me. Like it was starting again to feel like that depressive state, that very like mind numbing, body numbing.
You're hitting those same triggers, the same little environmental triggers that brought you back into the same old habits.
Of course.
Right.
Of course. The template was there.
Yeah.
The old ways of being and doing were basically there with open arms.
The seat was still warm.
The seat was still warm. It was cozy and it was ready. And it was like, hey, man, we got you. Don't worry. Right?
It's kind of like my cubicle when I went to. There were people out there that just show up at the same environment, same stress.
Mm-hmm. Same coffee.
Same coffee.
Same amount of sugar.
Same TPS report. Same Lumberg stopping by.
Same faces.
How's it going?
You doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get you another copy of that memo.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Did you get the memo? All right.
And you understand.
Yeah.
So I saw this happening, and that was when I realized that I had to start moving, both literally and also like physically, and also like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Like I had to be moving, because that whole saying, you're either growing or dying, like stagnant water, not like water that doesn't move, is bad.
It's dying.
It's dying.
Yes.
It's toxic.
Nothing in nature can stand still.
No.
Everything is either growing or it's dying.
Yeah. And I mean, think about it. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what percentage we were, like 70% water, 80% water, our body composition. Yeah. So, you think about it in nature, if water goes stagnant, so does the being in itself. So for me, I acknowledged that, and I realized I had to start moving. But what came out of that was, I started exercising, I started reading, I started moving. I really started to kind of like train the mind, body, emotions, and things like that. And actually found myself at a point where one day I'd gotten a call from my buddy, and he's like, hey, you got to come to this thing. And mostly because he believed that it was going to help me. And I went, and I ended up signing up for this program. I went through this whole training. It was landmark training, where I went through the entire curriculum for living. And what I got present to was that the things that were killing me were the things that I didn't know were killing me. The blind spots, the shadow self, the aspects of me that I just didn't know were pulling the strings. I was the puppet.
But who's the puppet master?
And ultimately,
that's the question.
Yeah, right. Who's pulling the strings?
Who's pulling my strings?
And
who's yanking my chain?
Exactly. And I think that comes as a product of not taking responsibility. Right. Because then it's like you become the victim, you become the byproduct. And I did. So I went through that program and realized that I was dead, and I wanted something different. And right after having finished that curriculum, I was introduced to this company called Red Elephant. And basically their entire mission is to have entrepreneurs and like-minded people like that to be seen, to be heard, and be a force to be reckoned with, by helping them to establish all of the foundations that they need to take their business wherever it's at, whether it's in formulation and idea stage to 6 figures, wanting to go to 7 figures, just wherever you're at, going to the next level. And, I did not have, I had an idea for what I wanted to do, but it was just an idea. And at the end of their 3-day event and everything, which was phenomenal, I had this massive breakdown in front of everybody where I started crying, sobbing, and basically saying, like, I feel safe. I feel safe, and thank you so much. Like, that was when I realized that for as long as I've been hurting, is that I never felt safe to express, to be me, to actually feel into those things. And then, I heard the offer, which was, like a 9-month program, and it was like $5,000. And I'm like, I don't have that money. Like, I've been, so to speak, like in recovery mode, and hadn't been making nearly enough money. So I actually ended up, because of the coach, she ended up coming up to me and saying, hey, look, sign up and we'll figure it out. And so I did. And what ended up happening was, they started asking me about, what do you want to create, in terms of like, signature talk, or, actually speaking, because speaking was, in my being, what I believe was what I came to do, spoken word. And they started asking, what's it all about? And I had always said, like, oh, like, had this concept of follow the wolf. And they said, well, where did that come from? And I basically explained that, people had asked the question, if you had a spirit animal, what would your spirit animal be? And I would always say, like, oh, the wolf, the wolf, the wolf. And I never really had a knowing of why. But I actually even started like decorating my room with tapestries. There was wolf tapestries. Now there is like pillows, pillow covers, and bedspread and everything wolf. And my coach said, yeah, no, that's it. That's your talk. Your talk is wolf, and it's an acronym. And now wolf is an acronym for a speech that I give. And the movement ended up becoming Follow the Wolf. And one day my dad pulls me into his office and he says, what's up with the wolf? And I explained everything that I had just said. Yeah. And he said, it's really funny. When we were picking your name, me and your mom, my dad's hilarious. They had made it a game. They said, if I can make fun of his name, that won't be his name, because my son won't get made fun of. So they played a game, and basically it came down to 3 names: Jared, Cruz, and Wolf.
Interesting.
I had no idea. And he looks at my face, and I have like my jaws like on the floor, and I and I pull it back up. And he was in a lot of what I teach inside of what I do is about the concept of flow and fluidity, and being like water based off of Bruce Lee's principles. Like, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Like, water can flow or it can crash. It can be graceful, or it can be this, the most powerful force on the planet. Can destroy anything. And, I'd always talk about flow and fluidity, and he's like, yeah, and wolf spelled backwards is flow. And I was like,
Yep.
Mind blown
Wow.
in that moment. So everything started becoming about the wolf. And what I realized was that Fall the Wolf became mention of a lot of things, but what it really became symbolic of was once I decided I was doing this, and I'd actually even gone to the extent of like changing my name and everything, which I will be legally changing once I've hit a goal of mine. What Wolf stood for was this. Everything up to this point in my life has been given to me. My name, my belief system, my old patterns.
Which goes for all of us, right?
Right.
I mean, that's, again, welcome to America, right? This is how it works.
Mm-hmm. There is a lack of agency. We're not in control of our being. So for me, I saw that I was basically been giving all these things, and I had all these old ways of being and doing. So for me, what that meant was this. Me transitioning from Jared into Wolf is me taking that step to say, from this point forward, I'm going to create my life.
That's right.
So follow the wolf is follow the wolf's journey. And it's not only about my own personal journey, but that person who's listening, who's inspired to say, I want to create myself. And you don't have to say wolf. You can say whatever you want to create, but this is how I conceptualize
What if my
it.
spirit animal is a peacock?
Follow the peacock.
I know that can go many different directions, so I should be careful with that. Although I don't know what peacock backwards is. I think it's cocky.
Cocky.
Cockape.
Cocky.
I could be a cockape.
Oh gosh.
I think my wife would agree with that. So I said, hey, I think I'm a cockape. She'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds about right. So
this is that unicorn transition.
Yeah. But you say something really important in this. It's a concept called identity.
Mm-hmm.
We have our identity. We have our purpose. We have what we should be. And then there's what we're labeled as, which in your case was Jared. But you've always been the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
You just either didn't admit it, didn't know it, didn't realize it, something. So you had this dissonance. You had this cognitive dissonance between what you should have been and what you were told to be or what you had become.
Yeah.
And now it looks like you're just closing that gap.
Mm-hmm.
And when you close it, when you stop creating dissonance, when those notes come together, you have something called harmony.
Mm.
And that is a fantastic sound. You know, even if you're not good in music, people understand dissonance. It doesn't sound right. It's uncomfortable sound. Two notes really close together, not quite right. And you get that, it's like the nails on the chalkboard. But once you start creating harmony, it just feels right. It sounds right. It is right.
Yeah.
So congratulations. This is a big deal.
It's taking its full swing. You know, it's like I went to school because I was told I should go to school, and I got the degree because I was told I should. And, you know, I think that school, I think that education serves a purpose in the right context. But if you're going because someone told you to, I think that's a problem. But if you're like, I want to be a neuroscientist because at 9 years old, my mom died of some awful neural disease. And because of that, I want to be a neuroscientist. I'm going to commit to that. Good.
Then school is probably your answer.
You should go.
Absolutely.
But going because somebody else said.
You know why most people go to school? The real reason? They go to school to find out what they want to do. They spend 80 grand on student loans to find out what they want to do. I don't know what I want. I guess I'll just go to college. It's become this weird, perverse default.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So what are you going to do with this wolf now? Now that you're the wolf, you found your identity, you want to help other people do the same? And is this like a program, or is this just follow you? Is this like literally just get behind you and just like walk everywhere you walk? And is this a miming adventure?
It might be.
Is this a Simon Says?
That'll be down the road, a couple of years down the road, right?
No more Simon. It'd be Wolf Says.
Wolf Says.
Wolf Says. Tap your head. Wolf Says. Rub your belly.
Becomes a silly, childish game. Yeah.
No, that's silly, but you got to keep it simple for people, right?
Of course.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
You don't want to give steak to a baby.
No.
Start them with a little baby food.
Yep.
Then maybe a little, graham cracker.
Yep.
Once their teeth come in.
Yep.
Steak is later.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bologna.
Crawl before you can walk.
Yeah. So where's it going? Where are you taking Wolf?
So actually, right now I'm playing with. We're doing this pretty dope summer program that's basically going to be helping to empower young people transitioning from summer to the beginning of next year, whatever that looks like. But it's really focused around the education that they never got, or maybe not get until once they get out of college, or actually, like you said, pick up a self-help book.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is that. I'm going to be rolling out a podcast within the year called Follow the Wolf, and most of what I'm doing is around creating this movement towards. Like my standing commitment being the leader and space for empowering the youth of this generation and generations to come, like you said, to have freedom, to have choice, but like I said, like to really feel alive, because I knew what it was like to not, and some of the people that I've worked with knew that feeling as well. So that's ultimately what this is founded in: feeling alive, following the wolf, and creating and manifesting your life of your dreams.
That's interesting. I almost called this radio show here "Follow the Rabbit," because really my concept is freedom.
Yeah.
And it's exposing the truth, exposing the lies of all the different industries out there, and giving people the right awareness so they can make the right choice. So I love the red pill, blue pill, the matrix, and I almost called it "Follow the Rabbit." Then my marketing guy nixed it. He's like, no, it's going to be too hard for people to find you under Broke is No Joke and Follow the Rabbit.
Oh,
He says, be consistent. It's like, all right. But I had the whole logo put together.
Yep.
It was really cool. Like an Alice in Wonderland rabbit.
No.
It was nice. It was nice, man. So, all right, you got Follow the Wolf, which is good because I'm not going to be Follow the Rabbit.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, you got to have fun.
Little spirit animal tag team.
Yeah. Very cool. So, what's your enemy? What's the one thing? Because I think everyone should have an enemy.
Sure.
Everyone should have something they're fighting against, whether it be poverty or ignorance or something like that. What pisses you off to the point where it's just like, this is my enemy. This is what I'm going to try and eradicate in this world.
You talked about dissonance.
Yes.
So, in the context of like Maslow's hierarchy of self-actualization.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding. I'm writing a freaking book on it. Gosh darn it.
Right.
Later this year, it's coming out.
Exactly. Right. So there's the self-actualization, which the way that I learned it was when your ideal self is matched with your current self.
Yes.
And whatever that looks like.
Becoming the best version of yourself. Yeah.
Of course. And I think that it is this never-ending journey that we are, we're always undertaking. But I think what ultimately is what, quote, pisses me off or really frustrates me the most is a lack of proper guidance. Like actually having the mentor or the person who can step in and really be with the person and whatever it is that they're asking. Like if they want to go to school for this, or if they want to start this business, or if they actually, want to improve their health, that they are finding the resource that is really listening to them and is wanting to give them that answer, because ultimately everyone's got an opinion nowadays. And right.
Don't get me started on that. Everyone's got an opinion. Right?
An opinion. Everyone's got what they believe to be a solution. But, what is it grounded in? I think that there's a lot of deceit, especially in the self-help industry. There's a lot of deceit. There's a lot of lack of like actual credibility. And it's about, selling. It's about selling for selling's sake, not selling for the sake of actually empowering people. And that frustrates me, because then people like me, people like you,
right?
We're noise. This white, we're part of the white noise, so to speak, and we have to like try our absolute hardest to be heard and to be seen, because there's so many people trying to do it and they're not actually committed.
No, and they haven't done it themselves.
No.
Right? Don't listen to broke people on how to get wealthy.
Yep.
Don't listen to unhappy on how to be happy.
Yep.
Right? So most life coaches don't have a life, which is really weird to me. But no, I agree with you. In fact, that's one of the worst things I think you can call me as a life coach, because the term has gotten so
saturated.
It's gotten shit on, honestly. It's just gotten crap on.
This is true.
Nowadays, life coach to me is someone who just, it's kind of like, this is the best example, and it's going to be a gross one, but whatever. Deal with it. This is the kind of comedy I'm going to be doing here pretty soon. So imagine, you get a stinky bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. And you go and you spray the flower spray. Mm-hmm. To me, the life coach is the one spraying the flower spray. And now it doesn't just smell like shit. It smells like flowers and shit. You're like, okay, I smell flowers, but I still smell the shit.
Wow.
So, because that's what a lot of life coaches now want to do. They want to just spread positivity. Just think happy thoughts. That'll fix it. But you don't go to the root cause. I say, let's get into the toilet. So there's two levels. We can go fix the plumbing, if that's the issue in the toilet, right? If it's backing up. But more importantly, what the hell did you eat? What are you feeding yourself that you're stopping up toilets, right? That you're spewing out crap, like nasty crap. There's something wrong with what's going in, because what's coming out is terrible. That's where we need to go. That's what a true life coach does. Let's fix the input.
You are so on point, and I think that
in a gross way, but yes,
in a gross way. But here's the thing: look, I think that life coach, the term in itself, isn't wrong. It's what people are associating with life coach, and because of that, now it gets this grotesque, picturesque. Like, I mean, it's just bullcrap. It's complete total bullcrap, and it's not actually symbolic of what's actually happening. I was watching this documentary. It's called Emotion, and it was talking about how emotion is essentially energy in motion,
right?
And how a lot of and we're going to go there, Western medicine and taking pills and things like that. It's just treating symptoms, but it's treating symptoms and so that in such a way that they keep coming back. So you have this prolonged period of, taking these medications, which I think is no different.
There's no money in cures. There's only money in treatment.
Of course.
If I cure you, you're not coming back. And you're not going to spend more money and not make me wealthier.
Which is silly. Because if you think about it, if you were known as a person who could cure people in a couple of visits, guess what?
But that's long-term thinking.
Yeah.
Short-term thinking says, I want to keep you on the hook.
Yeah.
But long-term thinking says, yes, I can cure you and the next person, because diseases aren't going to stop. There will always be someone to help. But we got to do the right thing. But that's a long-term perspective.
100%. And how it related to that documentary was talking about how, everything, we've already proven this, everything is energy. At the deepest level, the atomic level, when something is created in imbalance, and if you're going to think of high vibration versus low vibration, at a lower vibration, that's when things start to enter a state of chaos. And the chaos, it manifests as cancer, as lymphedema, or whatever X, Y, and Z, insert whatever it is that you're dealing with. But at the core of it, there is an imbalance or a change in vibration at the atomic level, which affects the molecular level, which affects the cellular level, and then manifests as that thing. And then we treat that thing, but really it's just that most outermost layer. And that's how you relate it to life coaching. We keep treating symptoms, but we're not asking those deeper, more important questions of where is this coming from?
We're always going after the isms and the ias and all these diseases and all the... Actually, speaking of that, the one suffix that never seems to have a good connotation is Rhea. Nothing really good ends in Rhea. You get diarrhea, gonorrhea, all these. So I don't know. That's just a little medical joke there, but nothing really good ends in Rhea.
No.
At least I don't know of any other words. But
life coacheria.
Life coacheria. Maybe that's what we're doing.
There's a lot of life coacheria.
Yes. Stop practicing life coacheria. Ooh, that's good. I'm gonna go to play with that.
Oh.
Not play with that. You know what I mean. Work that into a skit routine. But anyways,
here's your first pitch.
So you mentioned balance, and you said something before that balance is a myth. What do you mean by that? Balance is a myth. Why can't we have balance?
It's funny. The way this actually came to me as a concept and a topic was during an event that I went to, and you're supposed to basically present the concept of why you should be on their podcast. And I did my presentation in a handstand.
Okay.
I was doing a handstand and I was talking to the mic and I was explaining as I was in a handstand how balance is a myth. And everyone's looking at me like, but you're on your hands and you're balancing. How is balance a myth? So I basically broke it down into what I believe to be, and this is something I actually originally heard from Dan Thurman, love his work, about how we're not necessarily balancing, or we're not balanced, as if it's this end, I am balanced.
Oh, got it.
This end point.
It's not the end all be all. Okay.
No. Trying to live a balanced life, I think, is this. It's you're forever reaching it's the donkey with the carrot on the stick, I think is the analogy. You're always trying to get it. And I believe that there is value in, always pursuing and always seeking the next level.
Just a quick point of order. Do donkeys eat carrots? Or is that the horse? I think horses eat carrots.
Was a horse with the horse and the carrot?
I could be wrong. I don't know if donkeys eat carrots. They probably do.
Somebody's listening is going to be like, you're freaking wrong.
Donkeys and horses they're not that different either.
They don't look very far off.
No. I think
one's just a lot stronger and quicker.
Yeah, and then there's the horse.
And then, yeah. Exactly. But
so yes, the carrot's on the stick.
Yeah. So with the idea of balancing, as I'm on my hands, although it looks like I'm balanced, I'm constantly balancing, or as I like the term, counterbalancing. Because when I go too far one way, I have to press in the other direction. Yes. So I'm always counterbalancing. I'm always moving. I'm always, moving in the direction of being to the closest point of balance. But I think that when we're always striving for this, what happens is we may hit a point of balance and we're like, yes. And then we attach and we latch on and then we get away from it. There's the dissonance. Now mentally I'm off. I'm like, I cannot believe that. I'm so frustrated. There's a lack of compassion, leading to more self-detrimental talk and breakdown versus accepting that you won't ever really be balanced. You're always balancing or counterbalancing.
So it's not a destination, it's a journey.
It's an ongoing journey.
That's all it is.
That's life.
Absolutely. Even self-actualization, that's not a destination.
Mm-mm.
It's the top of the pyramid, but it's a process.
You have to live it though.
Yeah.
At all times.
Absolutely.
You can step out of it just as quickly as you step into it.
That's right. And it's one of those things where, like nirvana, you can't be there forever. It's not something that you just, it's not a place.
Mm-mm.
It's a process. It's a being.
Mm.
Not a bean, but a being. It's not a bean. It's not like a garbanzo bean.
Frijole.
Frijole.
Frijole negro. It's a black bean.
Frijole. Arroz y frijoles.
Have some of that later on tonight.
Pollo. We better be careful. You speak Spanish?
A little bit. Not enough.
Un poquito.
Just a little.
Vamos a hablar español.
What was that first word? I didn't hear
Vamos.
Oh, let's go speak Spanish.
Vamos a
Let's
hablar
speak Spanish.
español.
Yeah.
Sí.
I'll interpret as you speak.
You'll interpret.
Well, because I think I'm better at listening and understanding than I am actually taking and creating my own phrases.
Yeah, we don't have to go to Spanish. We don't have to go there.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on
Check
that.
in episode 100 down the road. I'll be like full
We'll do a Spanish version.
Spanish version.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The gringo version of.
The gringo version.
Oh God. I don't even know how to say broke is no joke in Spanish.
No.
I don't know how to say broke. No es chiste. No es. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to work on that. Broke is no joke. Okay. So let's see here. So I know you talk about the education system, and that's a big one for me as well. So is your main focus going to be on the younger folks?
Yes.
Is that really where you're focused? Okay.
As it stands, yes. I'm always in the formulation, but ultimately, what it is, it's about, again, providing the space for them to be able to be empowered in whatever it is that they're creating, because I think that the education system is very one note.
Yeah.
I mean
the school system?
Yes. Most of it. And let me just say this, people are listening, not all education, look, I get it that there are facilities out there that are doing good, and I get it, but most of them, in my opinion, and even most people that I talk to, parents alike and everything, it's an actually dated model. And I don't remember where I had heard or seen this, but they were talking about how if you look at the classroom, how it's set up now versus in the 50s and what's being taught, it's actually basically most of the same stuff. Yeah.
Well, here's a question for you, because I was at one point with Broke is No Joke focusing on the teens and tweens. And I've actually transitioned that demographically more towards millennials and Gen X.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question. You've got a kid that hangs with you for a couple hours a day or goes to school for 6 hours a day, but then they go back home into the environment of their parents for 18 hours of the day.
Sure.
In a battle between 6 hours of environment and 18 hours of environment, isn't the 18 hours going to win? So yes, you can start helping them get out of that mindset, but they're going to go right back into that old mindset because they got to go home at some point.
Sure.
And they're going to spend time with their broke ass parents who don't know anything better, because I teach kids about money and then they have to go teach their parents, which I think is the most silliest thing in the world. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to the parents, and maybe the parents can have a positive influence on their kids once again. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I think it's both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Because the whole saying, like, it's hard to be a transformed individual in an untransformed environment.
Right.
Like, no matter how much transformational work that I do, they say, all right, you're transformed. Oh, yeah, you're Zen, you're Buddha. Okay, go spend 1 weekend with your parents.
Yep.
Go spend 1 weekend with your family.
Watch it all, Crater.
And exactly. all of the things, cracks, and everything show. So
yeah, they know where all your buttons are.
Oh, like, yeah. And they'll press them. And then when you react, they'll say, see?
Well, they'll press them and then they'll break them. They'll press them so much so the buttons will break. And then you're just pissed off.
Yes, it's learning how to be completely unshakable.
That's why I ran away at 17 to college, away from my parents, as fast as I could.
Yep.
But
checking deuces on the way out.
Yep.
Yep. So I think it's both, and it's actually what happened recently for me was I came to this realization that I needed to be attacking both, because I had this I'm young. I had this old dated mindset of, I'm young, parents aren't going to listen to me, what can I possibly teach them about parenting or whatever. And one of the people I was at an event with, he was a coach, and I basically started sharing with him what I was doing. And in short, he looked me in the eyes and he said that every single day that you aren't out there sharing your message, people's lives are at risk.
That's right.
People's lives are at
right.
risk. And that hit me, because I had been playing a small game because of my perceived lack of ability or experience to be able to talk to these parents. He's like, you need to be able to look parents in the face and tell them, look, I get that you have the best intentions and everything alike, but you need to let me do what I do because I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah.
And it's both.
And your kid's life is at stake.
It is.
It's funny. Parents will do anything for their kids when it comes to playing soccer, sports, music lessons, school, all this other crap.
Yep.
At the end of the day, the kid's not going to become a soccer star. It's not going to become a music star. It's not going to stay in school, right? But when it comes to like actually helping their kids with their mindset and things that will serve their kids for the rest of their life, cool. I don't know. I ain't got money for that. I ain't got time for that. I don't have, I'm not sure about that. It's just crazy. So it's something that it's going to be a challenge, but a challenge worth taking, in my opinion.
I think that it's all about, at this point for me, it's being so clear on my message, because something that I got was that we don't do things when we're ready. We do things when we're willing.
Yes.
Meaning, I don't have the time or I don't have the money. It's like, no, you're not willing to set aside the time. You're not willing to set aside the money. And here's the difference. One of them has power. The other one doesn't. Right. One of them is giving your power away and saying, I don't have it. I can't, whatever. The other one's saying, I have the power to, and I'm choosing not to. That's distinctly different.
Yeah.
Distinctly different.
And by the way, I think the word time, when we say I don't have time, we should stop using the word time. Time is an excuse. What we really mean is life, don't we? Time is life, like one-to-one. So when you say I'm too busy, I don't have life. I got no life for that.
You got no life for that.
What are you doing today? Not much. I'm just killing some life.
Just killing some life away.
Yeah, I'm just wasting some life.
That's funny.
Dude, it sounds different when you put it that way.
It does a little bit. It makes it a little more.
I always gotta slap people around when they say time. I have no time. I have no time. I have no life. Like, what are you talking about? Listen to what you just said. You have no life? Nuts. So how do people find you? How do people follow your success? How do people learn more about what you're doing? We'll put some links below, but what's the fastest way for people to get a hold of you and to learn more about your programs?
This stuff's about to blow up. And I say this from like the most humble.
Be careful saying that, especially if you're going out to school. I'm just kidding.
Wow. And we're there.
You can walk in and say, the shit's about to blow up, guys. And then boom, you're out.
Yeah, next thing I know.
You get tackled by this.
The equivalent of TSA.
The school security guard.
Yeah.
Actually, no, most of them are scared. They won't even go into the school. Don't worry. But anyways, come on. You got to have a little comic relief here.
Yeah, take it easy. Take it easy, everyone.
Take it easy.
Just
it's
jokes.
Okay.
Just jokes.
It's okay.
But and from a serious place, like I realized I've been playing a small game because there's so many directions that I could be going. But what I got was that, again, every single day I'm not out there, people's lives are at stake. So as a result of that, there are many ways that I'm going to be getting out there. And the quickest way to get connected is, go on Facebook or Instagram, Wolf Castillo. I think at Instagram it's wolf.castillo. On Instagram it's just Facebook it's Wolf Castillo. And right now I'm in a transition, so I'm getting a website that's going to be coming out. It's going to be wolfcastillo.com.
Good.
And then the podcast will be coming a little bit down the road. But in terms of people, if you're wanting to get connected, or even if you've heard this and you're like, oh, love to know a little bit about his work, I am offering a 30-minute complimentary session where it's, just come on if you just want to get some ideas, like how can I, and if it's a parent, like how can I improve the relationship with my child or helping them step the next level, or if it's, just, wanting to hear more about how they can get connected to the work. I'm offering that, and we'll have a link download for that, but I would love to get connected with anybody.
What's your email? What's it? They want to email you.
The email, so it's going to be switching, but it's going to be, as it stands right now, it's JARRODMCASTILLO@gmail.com. It's jaredmcastillo@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. I appreciate you being here, man. I mean, I love what you're doing. This is awesome stuff. It's necessary stuff. It's very similar to what I do, but I think we're taking different angles, so we're going to complement each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
you're getting that millennial and Gen X. I'm getting leading into that 14 to 22. So it's like,
let's hit it from both sides.
There we go.
You get the kids, I'll get the adults, kick them in the jimmy, wake them up a little bit, give them the slap, the wake up call. That's what I call it. Slap yourself. Which, by the way, that book is coming out. My next book, Slap Yourself. The 12 Most Important Questions You Never Ask Yourself is coming out May 27th, which is my anniversary.
Ooh.
It'll be carry the 18 years I'll be married.
Congratulations.
Yeah. How about them apples?
You don't look like a day over 19.
I don't feel a day over 19. Actually, I think I'm 545 right now.
Heard.
Seriously. No, months.
Oh,
shoot. Babies can grow older in months. I'm 12 months old. I'm 18 months old. Hey, I'm going to be 545 months.
I got to figure out how many months I am.
Yeah. Easy calculation.
Yeah.
I used to be an engineer, so I know how to divide by 12.
Okay, cool. 12
Or
times.
multiply by 12, I should say. There you go. It's been a while since I've been an engineer, apparently.
Yeah.
But so cool, guys. Hope you enjoyed our conversation today. Definitely you want to stay in touch with Jared and, Wolf. Got to use your right name now. Geez.
It's going to be a transition. It's
yes,
happening.
It is. Oh, my goodness. So make sure you follow the Wolf everywhere he goes. It's going to be quite an adventure. I know it. This is a bright, young guy right here, and he's got lots of big things coming. So hope you guys had fun. And as I always like to say, and hopefully you agree with me on this, we're going to meet you at the top because the bottom is just way, way too crowded. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
You've been enjoying another Glitch in the Matrix with Josh Zeppis on Broke is No Joke Radio. To dive deeper and see how far the rabbit hole goes, visit us at brokeisnojoke.org. Share your story, leave a comment, get featured on a future show.